What's going on, ladies and gents? I'm Roy here. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about an awesome tool called Facebook Ads Insights. This is going to give you an idea of what your user or target audience, what their patterns are online. Okay, combine this with your offline work, which is surveying them, asking them questions, getting really trying to get to know them, to get an idea of the psychology of why they like your product. Combine that with this audience insights, you have a really powerful tool. Okay, so when you load this up, if you don't know where it is, it's facebook.com/ads/audience insights. Okay, don't worry about this because that's just my account info. So sorry for the small screen. My other monitor blew out earlier this week, so I'm settling for a monitor that I had like 10 years ago. So bear with me here. When you load this up, the first thing you're going to see is these three choices: everyone on Facebook, people to connect to your page, and a custom audience. Everyone on Facebook obviously is connecting to everyone, US, Canada, Mexico, Europe. The second one is people already connected to your page, the people who have already liked it and are a bit more familiar with it. Custom audience, that's where if you have custom contact, Aweber, or MailChimp, you could upload all the emails that you have from there, and you could directly market to those guys. Or if you want to do something called create a lookalike audience, where you would make an audience that has similar interests to your Facebook page or similar interests to your email list. Okay, and it would create an audience based off those types of people. But I'll put that in a section where it's a little bit more advanced. So let's start off with connecting to everyone on Facebook, trying to get a new audience for, let's say, an upcoming dance studio, or just we just want to try to promote our dance class or dance studio. So all this I'll walk you through briefly. There's a lot of this stuff that we don't really need. I'm going to be walking you through the stuff that's more relevant to what we want to use. All this stuff will update on real time. So say we're promoting a dance studio. Okay, let's say San Francisco. Boom. And age, let's put dance. This is where you start thinking, the offline work starts coming in, because if you just put in dance events, you're more than likely gonna target only dancers. Assuming, going back to the objective of promoting our dance studio, we want to think of the parents. What are parents interested in? So first thing in the morning, they're not going to be thinking about, oh, I've got to go to the dance studio. It's like, oh, I need to get my Starbucks. Oh, I need to go to Target or Walmart. Okay, and immediately you start seeing that majority of it is women and a little bit less than men. So this is generally a pretty good. This gives you opportunity to be able to market to both. But say you do San Diego, okay, huge difference there. So again, every region is going to be different. So this is where thinking about the parents, who are the people who are often bringing the kids to the studio. So let's go back to San Francisco. Let's go to actually another example, New York. What would that be? Okay, again, same, majority women for that. So San Francisco. To make sure that I'm targeting more dance specific people, I'm going to add a couple more events. So I'm going to say I'm going to target, and don't target those dance heavy events that like Nouveau Dance Convention or Jump Dance Convention. Those are more than likely people who are already enrolled in dance studios. So think of so you think you can dance, or people who like even the Jabberwockies, or what's another one? Debbie Reynolds. Or World of Dance. Just throwing ideas out there, and you can see as it starts updating more and more. So it's still pretty even on that end. So it's like just about a 20% difference versus the huge difference we saw earlier. So I'm going to go down a little bit more. Connections, which is pretty much the page, people connected to your page or not. Generally leave that empty. Advanced, this goes into different types of behaviors. in terms of purchases and whatnot. I generally leave that alone as well. Alright, now to language. Obviously I want them all to speak English, because it would be pointless if I run an English ad to someone who can only read and understand Spanish. That would be a waste of money. So, and parents. So let's target these groups right here, and you start seeing things change real quick. See that? Before it was pretty even between men and women. Now it's huge 40% difference. I'm gonna add a little bit more interest to make it a little bit more interesting. Ballet, jazz, dancing. Ooh, love that. It's a sport. Okay, just add a little bit more. Generally 5,000, 6,000, this, to me, that means it's a pretty good size audience already. And if this is happening, that, to me, that's a personal good sign. But if you're looking for more, seeing what their interests are, and you want to see what other things they like, I would start by scaling back a little bit. So this is these specific age groups is are really making it much more narrow. So I'd go all parents. That's still going. That's still happening. I would start adding different cities around the area. Oakland, that helped right there. Just gonna add a little bit more. Hayward, Monterey, and I think San Jose is far, but I'm just gonna add there anyway. Jose. Okay, and you start seeing other things that they like. Okay, so NBC, they're into NBC Bay Area. They like Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama is all about for the kids. I'm definitely gonna add her. Michelle Obama. Ellen DeGeneres. Oh, these guys. This is the Bay Area. They like Golden State Warriors. So they also like this KTVU channel. Okay, you don't necessarily have to add everything, but if it's going to be relevant in terms of what your marketing efforts are, then do it. So like, for example, the Golden State Warriors, I would have one of my students wearing a Golden State Warriors Stephen Curry jersey, and I would promote to those. I would create an ad specifically for that. You want to use these insights to spark the interest of the others of your potential audience by showing that you know what they like. So I'm just gonna add Golden State Warriors. Hopefully that made sense. It's 3 in the morning right now that I'm making this, and I just wanted to make it because I've been putting it off. Okay, and San Francisco Giants, same thing. San Francisco. If you got a sports team and you got a kid wearing that, it's a nice way to capture the attention, because we live in an attention economy, and you want to and it's all about who can hold the most attention right now. Okay, and that pretty much narrowed a lot of it down. So now I'm back to 100,000 to 150,000. That again, that's not too bad. It's getting a little big. It's pretty good. Okay, and from there, I would just go back to scaling down to this to specifically the ages between 4 to 19. Okay, and then I would just scale back down. Okay, because now that I have the data I want, I'm going to focus on the area I want, San Francisco. So now I'm back down to 6,000 to 7,000, much more targeted down. So if you're missing the information you want, it's okay to scale back up, get the information you need, and scale back down. So anyways, now you have all the input information you have here, and you definitely see the huge difference, 30% difference between men and women, and you can definitely see the age groups of which you want to definitely focus on. So based off the data here, you want to focus on women between the ages of 35 to 54. I generally like to keep my demographic between the ages of a 20-year window. If anything that's too broad, 40 or 50 years, you wouldn't market to a 25-year-old the same way you would market to a 50-year-old. Okay, completely different markets right there. Different time of their life, different priorities. So it just 20, even 15 would be fine. Years, that is. 35 to 54. Boom. And then I'm just going to focus on the women now. Okay. Actually, no. I'm gonna go back to all because I added the. This is the reason why I added the Golden State Warriors. And again, this is knowing doing the offline work helps with the online work as well. So again, talk to the parents, get an idea of what their interests are. Like you don't have to become like their best friends, but ask them why they enrolled to the studio, how did they find out about it, so that way you can triple down on that. Ask them what the things they're hesitant about, like are they afraid that, if I was a dude, like a non-dancing dude. Well, actually, this is what I've heard from most dads, is that the reason they brought their son, into class is because they want them to, become confident dancing in front of girls. That's one thing to keep in mind. So going back to, marketing to a male who happens to be a fan of the Golden State Warriors and also all these many other things. I'll probably put a boy wearing a Golden State jersey in the middle of a hip hop class. Just something like that to capture their attention. Because most people, when they see commercials or when they see ads, they're not just seeing the person; they're imagining themselves in that situation. So you want to put that kind of, the little seed in there to give them ideas. And now let's move on to the insight stuff. And this is not exactly stuff that you would necessarily need to add. I mean, you can into behaviors and all that, but it just gets really, really, really specific. All right, so this is definitely different from one of the ads I made recently, but this gives you an idea of the different lifestyles that they live. So I'm not going to go too much into each one, but if you want to know a little bit more, you can go on the eye and it tells you a little bit more about that specific lifestyle. So specific, I said Pacific. Skybox and Suburban. So this one they have an affinity to fitness programs. So if you say you are targeting the parents, so you can also promote, if you have yoga classes or fitness classes. This is definitely based off the data. It's a pretty good group to market to. So create that ad. Put someone in yoga pants, or a video of a demonstration of what's happening in class, or a trailer just to promote the class. So and here also shows you different relationship status, education levels. This isn't really entirely relevant unless you're going to be using it. I don't know. Show us your GPA or report card, and we'll give you a free class. Or it happens to be Valentine's Day, and you have an adult hip hop class, and you'd like to promote, some sort of couples event that you can throw there. I'm just throwing ideas out there just straight out of the head, but this is again insight that you can use that will help you determine what type of ad to create. Because it's one thing to just slap a logo on a random picture versus figuring out what your customers are actually interested in and tailoring it to that. So Page Likes, you already saw that, to help you determine what other pages, to help you determine the other types of interests and pages that your customers would like. I've really niched this down. You can already see 2,500 to 3,000 people are going to be seeing this, so that's really, really niche. So I'm not expecting this to load up. But if I load up other cities, I don't know, around the area, it'll populate again. Location, obviously San Francisco, California. But if I say United States, okay, it'll start populating where it's most likely going to be seen, or the interests. But let's go back to San Francisco. Okay, activity. So this pretty much tells you how active they are on Facebook. So how often they're going to be liking pages, how often they're going to be paging, doing comments, likes, shares. So it shows about, obviously based off this data, they're not very active in doing promotions and redeeming it on Facebook. Ads clicked. This is a good insight right here because it gives you insight in how active they are in responding to ads and device. So wow, they're very active in both mobile and desktop. Okay, I was doing an ad that was mainly another ad example that was just all mobile. Okay, so they're equal on using a computer, iPhone, and iPad, and not so much on the Android here. So it gives you an insight of when you start doing ad placements. Should you do it just on desktop? Should you just do it on mobile? Quick hint, start focusing mainly on mobile, because chances are most of you guys are watching this on your phone right now. Next up is household. I don't really use any of this. This gives you an idea of how much money they're making, and how many people are in their house. But I don't really, for me, I haven't found any benefit in using this just yet. If you guys are creative and using this info, hit me up so I can learn from you as well. I'm not proclaiming that I know everything. This is just stuff I learned that I'm sharing on with you. Spending methods, it's pretty much teaching you, are they using cards? What are they using it on? Travel and entertainment, gas, department stores, whatever. Okay, obviously you can see a little bit more they like to travel and entertain, but just a smidge. Not exactly something I'm trying to use in terms of promoting here. So moving on to their purchases, too niche down to really show me any information right here, but might be different if you're in another city. For example, let's do Los Angeles. So actually, now that we've went on to the rest of the world, you see that huge bump right there. You'll see how often they're going to be spending on retail. But let's go back to San Francisco. Okay, and you'll see how likely they are to purchase online or not. So trying to sell them immediately on, trying to purchase something online, very unlikely to do it. So I would just recommend having them, trying to educate them first. I think, for those this in San Francisco area, I would think about educating them first. Provide some content in the instructors, behind the scenes of your dance studio, testimonials of your students, a trailer of what your dance studio is, routines from classes, that kind of stuff to really educate the customer before asking them to really try to buy it. And here you see the different types of purchase behavior. So they're very much into kids products, health and beauty, home and garden. So purchase behavior, this is pretty much telling you the types of stuff that they would most likely buy. So using this insight right here, kids products or even health and beauty, showing that they are parents. I would run an ad like, oh, we're selling you leotards, or we're selling jazz shoes, ballet shoes, shirts, sneakers, shorts, whatever it is. Because based off this data, you pretty much have permission to do so. So once you have all this done, I know this took a little bit longer than expected. From there, you can just save it. Boom. I'm just gonna say test. Okay. Test, and boom. It'll be saved. And then from there, head on over to the page that you manage, go to, if you're just trying to aim to boost a post, you can just use that same exact audience. So for this, boost post, and I would switch that up to, and you're going to see this. So this is if you're running it on desktop. I like creating ads on my desktop. The mobile ad manager isn't as robust as the one on desktop just yet. So, and I would go to see all. As you can see, I have a lot of different dance audiences, but I would go to where it is, test, so target that. And I like to go cheap and wide. If you at first, I want to see how active this audience is using a small budget. So I would just generally go for 7 days on probably $20. Okay, just to get a feel for the audience, and also a feel for how well they're going to respond to the ad, because then that goes to a whole new realm of something called split testing, because sometimes people might respond better to an image instead of a video. So that's where split testing will start coming in. So, but that's why I like to keep it the budget relatively cheap for the particular audience, because I want to see how responsive they are to the ad before editing it again. And once I get that little sweet spot of fairly low budget, very responsive to the ad, that's where I ramp it up even more. So that's why I'm going for $20 I'm gonna go for a different amount. Probably gonna go for a good few days, instead of 7 days. That way you get an idea of nice $5 a day, good quality spend throughout the day for something low. And then from there, all you gotta do is click boost, and you're good to go. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to spend the ad money. So that's it. Using audience insights in a nutshell, I hope that's something that you guys found useful, found this video educational, and let me know if you have any questions, comments, suggestions. And if you're new here and you're either watching this on Facebook or YouTube, I ask you guys to subscribe, share this with some friends who you think might benefit from it. My goal ultimately is to just share with you guys the information that I know and the methods that I've used to help me build my online businesses and my classes and the dance companies that I've worked with. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.